Imagine waking up one morning, grabbing your phone, and checking the crypto market only to see something that feels impossible. Bitcoin, the king of digital currencies, the symbol of financial freedom, the dream of millions. Now showing a price of $0. No error, no glitch. Just a complete and total collapse. In that moment, the world's financial system wouldn't just shake, it would explode into chaos. People who once bragged about becoming millionaires overnight would be left staring at empty digital wallets. Governments would call emergency meetings. Social media would descend into panic. And the financial future of an entire generation could disappear in a single blink. Let's take a deep breath and step into that world. A world where the unthinkable has happened. A world where Bitcoin, the most famous digital asset ever created, crashes straight down to zero. Because the truth is simple. If Bitcoin drops to $0, it's not just a crypto crash. It becomes one of the biggest financial disasters in human history. Bitcoin reaching zero would mean one thing above everything else. Trust has completely collapsed. Bitcoin has no company behind it, no CEO, no government, no gold backing. The only thing that gives it value is belief that someone else, somewhere, will buy it from you. If that belief dies, so does Bitcoin. For Bitcoin to fall to zero, the world would need to lose all confidence in the entire crypto ecosystem. This wouldn't be a normal crash like 2017 or 2022. This would be a total meltdown, exchanges failing, blockchains freezing, miners shutting down, governments striking hard. Trust would evaporate instantly, and price would follow straight into darkness. The first people to feel the collapse would be traders. Overnight, billions of dollars of leverage would be wiped out. Crypto exchanges would show massive red screens filled with liquidation notices. Traders who turned $100 into $10,000 would be left with nothing but regret and screenshots of past profits. And worst of all, no amount of buy the dip could save them because there would be no dip left to buy. When Bitcoin hit zero, major exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, and Bybit would enter crisis mode. The flood of people trying to withdraw their remaining crypto would break the system instantly. Withdrawals would freeze. Websites would crash. Customer support would disappear. Some exchanges might even close permanently. Because without Bitcoin, the anchor of the entire crypto world, most altcoins would collapse right behind it. Ethereum, Solana, XRP, Cardano. Every major cryptocurrency would enter freefall. Billions of dollars locked inside centralized exchanges would become worthless digital text on screens. Lawsuits would explode worldwide as angry investors demanded answers. And crypto companies that once dominated social media would suddenly vanish. The collapse would spread like wildfire. Now imagine the ordinary people, the millions of small investors who believed in crypto as their future. Many put their savings, their hopes, even their dreams into Bitcoin. Some invested for financial freedom, some invested to escape inflation. Some invested because they truly believed in the future of blockchain. When Bitcoin drops to $0, these people wouldn't just lose money, they'd lose trust in the entire idea of digital finance. Savings gone. Family investments gone. Years of effort turned into dust. Emotions would explode across the world. Anger, shock, panic, and for many, heartbreak. Governments would immediately step in, not to save Bitcoin, but to protect the rest of the economy from collapsing. Emergency press conferences would appear on every news channel. Regulators would warn banks and businesses to secure themselves. And politicians would start pointing fingers, blaming each other for not acting earlier. The collapse of Bitcoin would become a political earthquake. Bitcoin going to zero would create new global winners and losers. Countries that supported crypto, Salvador, the UAE, Singapore, would face immense financial losses. El Salvador alone has invested millions of taxpayer money in Bitcoin. Their national reserves would suddenly be worthless. Tech companies and crypto startups would close instantly. Mining businesses would shut down. Crypto-friendly nations would face economic setbacks. But on the other side, traditional banking systems and politicians who hated crypto would claim victory. They would say they were right all along. They would push harder for CBDC's central bank digital currencies to replace crypto permanently. The future of money would become more controlled, more centralized, and more monitored than ever. In a world where Bitcoin collapses, finance becomes less free. The collapse of Bitcoin would deeply affect global markets. Stock markets would fall. Tech companies connected to crypto would lose billions in market cap. Nasdaq would see massive red days as investor confidence evaporates. Gold would suddenly rise sharply as people run toward safety. Silver and oil would spike. Even the US dollar would strengthen temporarily because investors panic and move into stable assets. Banks would tighten their policies. Loans would become harder to get. Venture capital funding would freeze. Startups would fail overnight. The financial world would enter a temporary shock, a moment where everyone questions what money really means and what the future of investment truly looks like. But here's the surprising twist. Not everything would end, and not every part of crypto would die. Even if Bitcoin goes to zero, blockchain technology would still have value. Companies would continue to use it. Governments would still experiment with it. Developers would still build new systems. Just like the dot-com crash didn't kill the internet, Bitcoin collapsing wouldn't kill digital innovation. A new wave of currencies might emerge. New cryptos backed by gold, oil, or national banks. Or maybe a next-generation blockchain, faster, cheaper. More secure would replace Bitcoin the same way smartphones replaced old landlines. In the ashes of collapse, a new digital future might rise. But one thing is certain. It wouldn't look anything like the world we know today. Finally, we must ask the biggest question. Can Bitcoin really go to zero? Technically, yes. Realistically, only if several catastrophic events happen at the same time. A global ban, a massive hack, exchange failures, total loss of mining support, or a new technology replacing Bitcoin completely. But history shows something important. Bitcoin has crashed many times, but it has never died. Because it is not controlled by one person or one company. It survives because millions of people believe in it. Still, the possibility remains. And if one day Bitcoin does fall to zero, it will become one of the greatest financial lessons ever recorded. That trust is more powerful than technology, and that even the strongest ideas can collapse when belief disappears. The world will keep moving forward. The markets will rebuild. New forms of money will rise. But the day Bitcoin hits zero will be remembered as the moment digital finance changed forever.